Hello, and I pray and I hope that you have been keeping well. I am very excited that we are still here. And if you're new here, I want to welcome you very, very much to Surrendered. And today specifically, I would like to begin this show with a note of thanksgiving. You have been here, we are working together, and we have just made it to more than 1,000 subscribers, and I just want us to return that to God. It belongs to Him. We are impacting one life at a time, and this is for God. This is Surrendered. This is a channel that talks about anything that can build us, relationships, and anything that you do that affects your life, because God has given you relationships with people. If you're working, if you're a parent, if you're dating, wherever you are, we need to surrender all things to God. I totally believe that all must be surrendered to God so that we can walk light. I don't know about you. Have you felt very tired? Have you felt exhausted? Have you felt spent out? Like you're that wheel which is tired and you don't know what to do. That's life. Sometimes you don't know what you haven't done in the course of the day. Sometimes you have so much to do. Sometimes you have begun on a project and you haven't finished on it. At the end of the day, you are extremely tired. I would like to talk to you about surrendered care, if you like it, surrendered rest. Because as human beings, we find it very hard to set time aside to rest. In fact, when you mention the word self-care, it sounds like selfish. Like, I can't think of resting when things are waiting for me. No. Today I want to encourage you that in most cases, God wants you to take rest. God wants you to take care of yourself. And as a matter of fact, I would like to begin by telling you, if you're not able to give yourself some care, some rest, you won't even be able to give care and rest to the very things that have cost you that very self-care. And if you think about it, our very own God, the divine God, He rested. And He tells us to work all days, like for 6 days, and we have one whole day of rest. And sometimes the day you're on leave, that's the day you will walk around, visit people. In the evening, you're exhausted and you're supposed to have rested so much. Why is your care so important? Because you won't be able to be effective emotionally, you won't be able to be effective spiritually, and you won't even be effective physically. All these things, they have been put there by God. They work together. It's a machinery. Even by working so hard, you will break your immune system. You will be emotionally down. And in the end, something has to give way. And if it is not that thing that you're doing, it will be you. You will give way. You'll be tired. You will be angry. You'll be emotional. You will not be able to run around with the energy that you think you have. So what are some of the things that I would like to talk to you about? First, we have said you must remember that if you don't give yourself rest, the very things you're giving attention to, you will end up not giving them attention, because you will sit down. When that moment comes and something has to give way, it will be you sitting down and wishing you could have rested before, so rest now. The other thing that I would like to encourage you with is be still. That word is not a common word, especially if you're watching this video and you're a woman. I don't know, men have a way of resting. Men have a way of putting things aside and compartmentalizing them and saying, a day has only 12 hours, the night will come. But when you are a woman and you're watching this video especially, you need to know the word be still. We are encouraged by God to be still and to know that He's God. How do you know that you're not still? Because you're restless, because you feel like, if I don't do this, who will? If I don't take care of this, nobody will do it. And you end up being so restless. God tells you that you be still and you will know that He's God. Actually, the idea of being still means you try and find yourself in the Lord. Try and find your place in Him. Try and find out, why does He want you to know that He will be exalted above the things that you're doing right now, the things that have cost you maybe even like some good time with the very people that you love, the things that have cost you a good relationship outside there. God wants you to know that He's in charge of your life. He's in charge of the things that cause you to run helter-skelter. I think we are experts. I am one. I can just handle so many things. We call it multitasking. And sometimes it doesn't add value to us. Sometimes it will cost us that, that peace of mind. Be still. Find your quiet place where you can ask the Lord, please let these things work out. They are making me to be restless. They are making me to be anxious. One of the things I have learned is that when I am quiet before the Lord, when I take time to just surrender those things that look so mountainous, I find the peace that, keeps my heart. I find that peace that will surpass my understanding. I just want to encourage you to find your place in God. Be still, be quiet. Ask the Lord, what would you have me do at this moment? When you're still, you'll be able to be clear in your mind. Your heart will be clear. Your thoughts and your thinking patterns will be clear, and you'll be more effective. Stop thinking that when you're thinking things through, that it is wrong. It is not wrong. It is at that moment that the Lord enables you to actually see things differently. I'd like to give you another help that will carry you through when you are not able to give yourself some rest and some self-care. Throw away the guilt card. Stop carrying guilt. I know what you go through if you're like me. Sometimes you feel like, now I'm seated here, I am not doing anything, but the whole world is waiting for me. No, the whole world is not waiting for you. The whole world is waiting for God, because the whole world will be carried by God on his own shoulders. And you belong to that world. Don't suffer guilt. You suffer guilt every time when you feel like, hey, I want to rest. I want to sleep for 2 hours. I want to maybe do one thing at a time. I want to plan and go to this particular place, at this particular time. But whenever you're planning for that, other things come up. And you feel like if you don't go everywhere that you're being called to, you will be guilty of not attending to other people. Don't feel guilty. You could watch out for one of my videos right here. I had talked about boundaries and how you're living beyond your boundaries. I've talked about rest, because if there is one area where you get affected and it affects all other areas, it is in the area of knowing when to rest. What do you need to do in order not to feel guilty? You just need to remember that you, plus the things that are making you run helter-skelter, you belong to God. Be free. Ask the Lord to set you free from carrying that burden of guilt, so that you can be strong for your family, you can be strong for your relationships, you can be strong for your job, you can be strong for your ministry, you can be strong for your children if you have some. You can be relevant where you have been called. We need to take care of ourselves. So we must give ourselves rest. We must be still before the Lord, and we must not be guilty. Kindly feel free to comment right here. Tell us, how do you take care of yourself? Do you suffer guilt? Thank you very much for staying up to the end of this video. Thank you for following. Thank you for the way you have been sharing these videos. I am appreciative. Let's continue to walk this journey together. And just keep on remembering that God is for you. God is for your relationships when you surrender them to Him. God bless you. Bye-bye.